Hey, what's going on, family? This is Andy Henriquez here. I want to welcome you to the Thursday night show for your life motivational live stream. This is where you come each and every week to get that midweek pick me up. And let me tell you, I got a message for you tonight. If you're somebody right now, you're in the process of pursuing your goals and your dreams, you're in the process of making some great things happen, and you find yourself getting a little frustrated at times, I want to just tell you, just stay in the game. Stay in the game. Your season will come. And so I've got a message for you tonight, and I want to thank you for tuning in. So just give me a moment before we go ahead and get started. About to go live also on Facebook. So just give me a quick second. Hey, what's going on, family? This is Andy here. Of course, I want to welcome you to the Thursday night show for your life motivational live stream. This is where you come each and every week to get that little midweek pick me up. And so I know you got a lot going on, but I definitely have a message for you tonight. And so this message is specifically for those of you who are dream builders, those of you who are in the process of trying to make something happen. Like, you got a big dream, you got a big vision, you got something that you've been working on, and maybe perhaps the journey has been a little more difficult than what you anticipated. Maybe perhaps you've encountered more challenges than what you anticipated. Maybe perhaps you find yourself not producing the amount of results that you really wanted. And maybe you've been at it for a year, 5 years, even 10 years, and you're getting a little frustrated and you're wondering, like, is this thing really going to happen for me? Is this going to become reality? I'm telling you, stay in the game. Your season will come. And so this message is for you. And so, of course, I want to thank you for tuning in and joining me each and every week. This message is for you. The name of this message is Your Season Will Come. And so once again, before I go ahead and get started, I want to give a quick couple of shout outs to people who are tuning in. Hey, what's up, Trish? I see Trish out in Boston. As you're tuning in, do me a favor, go ahead and put in the comment section, put in your city and your state. Listen, this message is specifically, hey, we got Roz Jones tuning in from Jacksonville, Florida. We also have Elaine in Massachusetts. How you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in and joining me on the Thursday night show for your life motivational live stream. As you're jumping in, put in your city and your state so I could go ahead and give you a quick shout out. But listen, this message is specifically for you. Like, if you've got a dream, you've got a vision, you got something that you've been working on, something that you've been building. I don't know if it's a business. I don't know if you've been thinking about making a shift in your career. I don't know what that thing is. I want you to think about whatever that dream is, whatever that vision is, whatever it is that you've been working on, that maybe you've been working on in private. Maybe you got friends and family members that know that you've been working on it. And maybe you've been at it for a year, maybe 5 years, maybe even 10 years. And you're just not quite there yet. Like, you haven't quite seen the results that you want yet. Like, you've had some wins and, you know, it's not quite exactly where you want it to be. Like, you've experienced a couple of victories. You see the possibilities, but you're still not necessarily where you want it to be. And so if you are there, like, if you're just like me, you're in the process of pursuing a big goal, a big dream, and a big vision. If you're in the process of going after something that you really, really want to make happen, let me tell you, you are in the right place, because I've got a message for you tonight. And I just want to remind you that your season will come. Your season will come. And so let me say hi to a couple people real quick. Hey, JCP, Janet Cooper Pitts in Bowie, Maryland. What's up, Janet? I see you. Hey, Thomas Miller. No sound. Oh, I've got a couple people telling me no sound, no sound. So that's not good. If you guys can't hear me, I've got to fix that. We have some people who are saying no sound, no sound. Can you hear me now, you guys? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you got sound now. Can you hear me? Let me type this on the screen. That's not good if you guys can't hear me. Let me see this. Can you hear me? I'm typing this in real quick. I can hear you. All right, fantastic. So you guys can hear me. So I got a little nervous there because some people are saying I can hear you just fine. All right, perfect, fantastic. Woo! I'm glad you guys can hear me. So listen, we're going to go ahead and start from scratch. 1 second. Here's what I want you to understand. This message is specifically for you. Listen, this message is specifically for you. If right now you are in the process of pursuing a dream, you got a vision, you got something that you've been working on, and you've been a little bit frustrated. And the reason why you're frustrated is not because you don't believe in the dream, but because the dream has not yet come to fruition. You're getting frustrated because the journey is a little harder than what you thought it would be. You're getting frustrated because you're not necessarily producing the results that you thought you would have produced by now. In other words, you haven't hit the position that you thought you would hit by now. You are not making the income that you thought you'd make by now. You didn't necessarily realize the dream. You've realized a portion of the dream, but you haven't realized all of the dream. And if that's you, like you're in the process of your journey, you're in the process of making something happen, I just want to really, really be able to just save you some time. And if you could just hear me out for a moment, I need you to get this. Listen carefully. Your season will come. Listen carefully. Your season will come. You are just so much closer than what you realize. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I want you to realize this. I want you to think about this for a moment. I'm just at a season in my life where some amazing things are happening. And I am so grateful for the things that are happening, but I find myself reflecting. And so today I was sitting behind the computer and I was in the process of going back and forth with two amazing companies that are going to be bringing me in to do a training and also to do a keynote. And so I was going back and forth in email, just getting ready to send out these contracts, these very, I would say, lucrative and exciting contracts. And then, you know, I found myself just sort of pinching myself for a moment and just really thanking for a moment, because I realized that some of the things that are happening right now, that are happening in my life right now, are things that the vision came to me like over like 15 years ago. These are things that I set out on making happen over 15 years ago. And I think, and then at the same time, I found myself thinking about like friends and family members that I know that also had a dream, that also had a vision, also had something that they were working on. And I think about how so many of them have thrown in the towel. So many of them have given up. So many of them have failed to come to the realization that they were so much closer than what they actually were. And so what I want you to realize is this. Chances are you got something that you are pursuing right now. Chances are you got a dream. Chances are you got a vision. And I'm trying to make you understand something, that you are so much closer than you think. I'm trying to make you understand something, that your season will come. And so let me just share this with you so I can bring this in a perspective for you. So I remember over 15 years ago, I was working in corporate America. I was working as a CPA. I was working as an accountant. And I had a friend of mine, her name was Erica. Erica and I went to college together, and she called me up and she said, Andy, I just got involved in a business opportunity. I want you to take a look at it. Now, I knew right away when my friend Erica called me, just by the sounds of what she was saying, that she wanted me to take a look at a direct selling company. And so some of you, you're in direct sales, you have a friend or family members in direct sales, and maybe they've given you a call and they wanted you to take a look at the business opportunity. And so my friend Erica was calling me up like every single week and saying, hey, Andy, what do you have going on this weekend? What do you have going on? And to be honest with you, I kept making up excuses because I didn't necessarily want to go out and go to the meeting. I'll be honest with you, okay? And so Erica, though, she was really, really persistent. And so she kept calling me and calling me and calling me. And finally, like, she wore me out. Like, I ran out of excuses. And so finally I had to be like, okay, Erica, I'm going to go out and I'll go take a look at this opportunity. And so she said, Andy, I want you to go on a Saturday. She gave me the hotel. Erica was in New York. I'm based out of Florida. She found a local meeting in my area. It was on a Saturday. I think the meeting started like 10 a.m. I got in my car. I drove up to that meeting on Saturday. And I remember I sat in the back of the room. And the reason why I sat in the back of the room, because I was only going there just to tell Erica that I went. And I knew for sure that I was not going to join the business opportunity. I knew for sure that I wasn't going to move forward. However, this is what happened. I started off sitting in the back. And then they brought some of the leaders into the room. And the leaders came in the room and they started sharing their story. They started sharing the business opportunity. And so I started off in the back of the room with my arms crossed. Then I uncrossed my arms. Then I found myself leaning in. The next thing you know, I was trying to find another seat closer to the front. Next thing you know, I'm sitting in the front of the room and I'm excited, right? I see the opportunity. I went there to say no to the opportunity. Next thing you know, I'm like signing up. I have joined the business opportunity. And now I'm in the business opportunity. I'm excited. Like, no one can come within like a feet or even 3 feet of me without me talking about the business opportunity. I'm either trying to get them as a customer or I'm trying to get them as a client. I'm talking to all my friends, all my family members. I'm excited. I mean, this is like the most amazing opportunity and I see the possibilities. I get so fired up about this business opportunity that literally within a year, I end up quitting my corporate job. I quit my corporate job because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to become one of the top producers in this company. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to make an awesome living. I'm going to change and impact lives because I'm just so excited about this opportunity. This is the same opportunity that I showed up to say no to. But check this out. So I'm in the business opportunity. And then while I'm in the opportunity, they keep telling me about the importance of making sure that I make it to a national convention. This is like the big national conference that they do every single year for this business. This is where like the business, it becomes huge. This is where like everything becomes a realization. This is where you get to see the leaders. This is where you hear the stories. This is where you get to see the impact and the things that are happening in the company. And so I make it to a national convention. And this is my first time getting into an environment like this. I mean, I can't even begin. Like, if you have never been to a direct sales convention, I can't even begin to explain to you the atmosphere that's in there. I'm talking about, I walk into a basketball arena that has thousands of people, and these people are literally jacked out of their mind. They're excited, beyond excited. And they're actually excited about their own lives. They're excited about their own dreams. They're excited about their own business. And so, like, I just want you to envision, like, you're showing up to work and you're going to work and you get to work and, like, everyone in your job is, like, fired up out of their mind. Everybody's, like, jumping up and down on their chairs. Everybody's excited. Everybody can't wait to talk to you. Like, that's the environment. And so I'm sitting there at this conference. I've never seen anything like it before. I've never been in that kind of environment before. Not in that kind of environment where people are just excited about their lives, excited about their goals, excited about their dreams, excited about their vision. So I'm sitting there, and now all of a sudden while I'm sitting there, the leaders are starting to come out. The leaders are starting to come out on the stage, and the leaders are sharing their stories. And I tell you, that's when I became mesmerized, because these speakers were coming out on the stage, and they were just speaking from their hearts. And they were just sharing their stories. They were just sharing their experiences. They were talking about how they started off with nothing and how they just completely changed their lives. They're talking about how everything changed for them. They're talking about how somebody called them up and talked to them about the business opportunity. And then they started just sharing their stories, and they started firing people up and motivating people. And I'm watching these leaders as they're sharing their stories, and I'm looking around the room. And as I'm looking around the room, I'm watching people. Tears are coming from their eyes. I'm watching people, they're getting fired up. I'm watching people and they're so excited. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, whoa, this is so amazing. And while I'm sitting there, the reason why it gets absolutely insane for me is because I come to this realization that as excited as I am about the business opportunity, I come to this realization that my dream is that I just want to be the person in the front of the room. I just come to, it's like, I remember sitting there in my seat and just looking at the speakers one after another and just saying to myself that one day, I would love to just be one of those speakers in the front of the room. One day, I would love to be able to share my story. One day, I would love to be able to make an impact. All the people who are just sitting out there in the audience. And I remember going to conference after conference, and I wasn't sure how it was going to happen. I wasn't sure what the journey was going to look like. And at that particular time, I had no idea how it would happen. I had no idea. It was just a dream. It was just a vision. And so here's what I know. Chances are right now you've got a dream. You've got a vision. You got something that is on your heart. You're working on it. You're trying to make this thing happen. You get frustrated at times because it's not happening at the speed that you would like for it to happen at. You get frustrated sometimes because you see little glimpses of opportunities and possibilities, but it's not quite happening the way that you thought it would happen. You're looking at the circumstances, or you're looking at your bank account, you're looking at different things, and it's still not where you want it to be. and you're asking yourself the question, like, is this going to happen? You're asking yourself the question, like, will my time come? Like, will my season come? And you're wondering if it's going to happen for you. Now, I want you to understand this, that when I was sitting there at the company, this was at least 15 years ago. Now, 10 years ago, that dream and that vision that I had became a reality. 5 years ago, I found myself on stage talking to thousands of people at a direct selling conference. Now, that was just the tip. That was just the beginning part of just me beginning to just get a glimpse of what was going to happen. At the beginning of this year, my wife and I, we had a vision board party at the house. We called some people over, and we said, hey, it's a new year. We're gonna create some vision boards, and we got all these magazines, and we want you guys to come over, and we want you to think big. Just think about whatever your goals and your dreams and your visions are for the year, and want you to cut it out. And we want you to create this vision board because it's important that if you got a dream, you got a goal, you got something that you want to do, you should put the vision in front of you. And so here we are. We have this vision board party at the beginning of the year. And we're cutting out these magazines, and I'm going through the magazines, and I'm just cutting out the magazines. And the organization that's over professional speakers is called the National Speaker Association. And so I found something, and it had the National Speaker Association, and I'm cutting this thing out, and I put it on the vision board. And then I see this big picture, this big image of a big, huge audience, thousands of people at a direct selling company. And I cut out the big audience, and I stick it on the vision board. And then there's a couple other things that I'm talking about, momentum, and it's your season, and I'm cutting these things out, and I'm putting them on the vision board. And then crazy things start happening. So here I am, I just cut this thing out on the vision board, didn't know when it was going to happen, or when my season, or when the time was going to come for the National Speaker Association. And I want you to get this. I'm just a couple of months into the year, and my telephone rings. And when the telephone rings, who is it? It's the National Speakers Association. And they say, hey, Mr. Henriquez, wanted to give you a call. We are doing a conference. It's called Brand Lab. It's a conference that we're doing specifically to help other professional speakers. We are looking for someone to cover the storytelling and the importance of storytelling. We asked around, and we asked a couple people, and your name came up, and we'd love to bring you in, and we want you to cover storytelling. Now, the reason why this is insane is because I just put this on the vision board. Like I just said that, number one, I just wanted to make sure I became a part of the National Speaker Association. And then like a long-term future goal would be to speak for the National Speaker Association. My telephone rings, and it's the National Speaker Association. Then I had it on the vision board that I'm at this direct selling company. I end up getting a phone call. I happen to have spoken for a direct selling company that I love dearly, that I've spoken for quite some time, by the name of Tracy Lynn Fashion Jewelry. And I end up getting a phone call, and I find out that the opportunity presents itself for me not to just speak at a direct selling company, which I've already done, but that I'm being invited to come and actually speak to the CEOs and the presidents of the biggest direct sales companies on the planet. Like direct sale companies like Herbalife, direct sales companies like Primerica, direct sale companies like Mary Kay, direct sale companies like Avon, direct sales company like Tracy Lynn Jewelry, direct sales company, I mean, the list goes on, like Team National, right? Direct sales company like Tastefully Simple. I mean, you name it, they're all there. And so now here I am, I'm finding myself flying out to San Diego, and I'm not just speaking to direct sales companies, I'm speaking to the CEOs and the presidents of direct sales companies. And today I'm sitting behind my computer, and I'm negotiating contracts back and forth and having discussions to go into multiple different direct sales companies, and I just couldn't help it but start thinking back 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I just had a dream. 15 years ago, I had no idea how it was going to happen. 15 years ago, it was just a thought. I would love to be the guy in the front of the room. And so here's what I know. You are in the process of pursuing a dream right now. And you're going to have times that when you're pursuing a dream, it's going to be hard. And you're going to find yourself wondering, can I do it? Is it going to work out? Is it going to happen? Should I throw in the towel? And I need you to get this. If you're willing to stay in the game, if you're willing to keep your head down, your season will come. Like, it's going to happen. You may not be able to see it right now. Your environment may not reflect the vision and the dream that you have. Your bank account may not reflect the dream and the vision that you have. But when your season comes, all the work that you've put in, it's going to pay off. When your season comes, whatever you thought the dream was, things are going to happen that you're going to have to pinch yourself. I mean, whatever the dream was, it's going to be so much bigger than you could even imagine. Like, I had no idea. When I said I wanted to set out to become a speaker, I had no idea. Like yesterday, I got to spend the day with executives and leaders at Bacardi. Like, I didn't know that I would be training executives and leaders at Bacardi. I didn't know that I'd be training like CEOs and board members for like Office Depot. Like, I didn't know that I would train executives and coaches at NASA. Like NASA who put man on the moon. NASA that sends out satellites. Like, I had no idea that last year I would go in and I'd be training people at NASA. Like, these things were not even, I didn't even think of these things. It was bigger than what I could even envision. And I believe that this is only the beginning. And I've learned to just really just trust the process. And I just needed to share this with you because here's what I know. You're on your journey right now. And when you're on the journey, it can get tough. You can find yourself being very frustrated. You're going to find yourself sometimes wanting to talk yourself out of it. People around you may even talk you out of it. But if you could just stay in the fight long enough, you're going to win. If you could stay in the game long enough, your season and your time will come. And so you got to be willing to keep the course. Listen carefully. You've got to keep the course. But Andy, you don't understand. I've been doing this for a couple years now. I still don't have the results that I want. That's okay. Keep the course. But Andy, you don't understand. I've lost a lot of money. I've depleted all my funds. I understand. Keep the course. But Andy, you don't understand. I've got no more support. Like, my friends, my family members, they're trying to talk me out of the dream. They're telling me, why don't I just get a job? It's okay. Keep the course. But Andy, you don't understand. You don't understand. I don't know if I believe that I can make this thing happen. I was excited at first. I thought I could do this. And now I'm questioning myself. I don't know if I could do it. Listen to me. That's okay. It's okay if you question yourself. It's okay if you don't know. Keep the course. Keep the course. Listen, keep going. I want you to put this right now in the comment section. Put hashtag keep going. Hashtag keep going. Listen, throughout the journey, there's been so many times that I questioned myself in the journey, that I questioned the dream, that I questioned the vision. And I've seen so many people who were on the journey with me that went back to their jobs, that went back to whatever it is that they were doing. And the difference is not because I was more talented than them. It's not because I had greater capacity than them. The only difference that I could see was that I was willing to stay in the game, that I was willing to keep the course. And what I want you to understand is this, that whatever it is that you're doing right now, if you could just simply keep the course, if you could keep the course, your season will come. If you could keep the course, everything changes. Everything changes. I found myself like it was hard for me to process today when I was going back and forth and just looking at it. It wasn't just today, just the way things have been happening through this year. And things that I envisioned 15 years ago, and how these things are just happening, and doors are opening, and possibilities are happening, and every time I think of doing something, not only does it happen, but it happens at an even bigger magnitude. And what I want you to get is this. What I want you to get is that it's going to happen in phases. Let me help you out here. I'm going to save you some time. I'm going to save you some frustration. First, you're going to have the dream. And then you're going to find yourself trying to figure it out. You're going to try to be figuring out how do I get the business off the ground? How do I leverage these gifts, these talents that I have? How do I make this thing happen that other people can see in me, that now I'm starting to recognize that I have it, but how do I leverage it? How do I make it happen? So you're going to find yourself trying to figure it out. But I want to save you some time. Here's what I want you to get. Don't try to figure it out. You're not going to have it figured out. The things that are happening for me right now, I didn't figure it out. I was just willing to continue to keep my head down and do the work. And most of the time when I was doing the work, I didn't know what was going to happen the following year. I didn't even know what was going to happen the following month. And a lot of times I didn't even know what was happening the following week. But I was just keeping the course and doing the work. Not turning back, not retreating, not throwing in the towel, but just keeping the course. And so what I want you to get is this. You will be trying to figure it out, but give yourself some grace and stop trying to figure it out. This big dream, this big vision that you have, understand that it's going to slowly reveal itself to you. Doors will begin to open. The right people will begin to show up. Things are going to happen that you didn't even envision for yourself. And so don't get caught up with trying to have it all figured out. And let me save you some time. You're not going to have it all figured out. You will not have it all figured out. Anybody who tells you you're going to have it all figured out, they're telling you an absolute lie. You will not have it all figured out. You're going to have to take it day by day, week by week, month by month. But I can promise you this. If you're willing to take it day by day, if you're willing to take it week by week, if you're willing to take it month by month, eventually things will work out. Eventually your season will come. Eventually things are going to begin to stack up. Now, here's what I want you to get. The one thing that I do need you to do, though, here's what I need you to do. I need you to sell yourself. In other words, you've got to be sold out on the dream, sold out on the vision. You've got to sell yourself like you couldn't believe. Let me help you to understand why. At first, when you have a dream and you got a vision, it's going to be lonely. Because other people are not going to be able to see your dream. They're not going to be able to see your vision. And they're not going to be able to hold the vision for you. They may applaud you. Yeah, that's good for you. But let me tell you something. The same people who applaud you, they'll be checking in on you periodically. And when they check in with you, they're really going to just be checking in to see if you're still at it. They're checking in with you to just see if you're still in the game, to see if you even believe what you told them you believe. if you really believe in this company that you're doing, if you really believe in this dream, this vision that you have. And so what I need you to get is this: you've got to sell yourself. Like, you've got to be 100% sold on the dream. You got to sell yourself. Like, don't worry about the dream or how it's going to happen. Sell yourself that it will happen. Sell yourself that you can make it happen. Sell yourself out on it's going to happen. Listen, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I had gotten to the point where I knew that I knew that I knew that it was going to happen. I didn't know how, but I knew it was going to happen. It was harder than I thought, but I knew it was going to happen. It took longer than what I thought, but I knew it was going to happen. And so you've got to be 100% sold on the fact that your dream, your vision, this thing that you're going after, that it is going to happen. Don't worry about when it's going to happen, but be 100% sold out. Don't try to sell anybody else. Listen, save yourself time. Save yourself the energy. Do not find yourself and get caught up with trying to sell everybody else on your goal and your dream and your vision. Social media is a powerful tool, but stop trying to get validation from everybody else on your goal and on your dream. The only person that has to co-sign on your dream, the only person that has to validate your dream is you. Stop trying to get confirmation, validation from other people. It's a waste of time. You only got one person that you need to sell on your dream. You only got one person that you need to sell on your goal, and that's you. Sell yourself first. Sell yourself out on the business. Sell yourself out on the dream. Sell yourself out on the vision. Sell yourself out on the fact you're going to become that best-selling author, that powerful speaker, that amazing entrepreneur, the amazing father, the amazing mother, wife, husband, whatever the dream is, whatever the vision is, the only person you need to sell is yourself. Sell yourself, sell yourself, sell yourself. Now, here's the next thing. Here's the other thing you got to realize. So remember, I told you, don't figure it out. Sell yourself on it. But here's the other thing. You've got to prove yourself. And you say, prove yourself how, Andy? Let me tell you how you got to prove yourself. You've got to prove that you have staying power. You've got to prove that you have staying power. That means that along the journey, when it gets tough, that means along the journey, when you're frustrated, that means along the journey, when your funds are depleted, that means along the journey, when you're not producing the results that you want, you've got to be willing to stay in the arena. Like, you got to stay in the fight. You got to keep the course. Like, you can't throw in the towel. You got to prove that you have staying power. This is the part that takes most people out. This is the part where most people throw in the towel. This is the part that most people get taken out of the game. They don't have staying power. They don't stick to it long enough in order for them to win. I'm going to tell you right now, everyone's trying to figure out the key to success. Everybody wants to figure out what's the key to winning. Everybody wants to win. And you're expecting like a complicated answer. You want there to be complexity. Listen, we're expecting complexity. Like you think the key to what you're trying to make happen is this really complicated formula. And so you spend all this time, you go to seminars and workshops and trainings and all these things because you're trying to find and you're trying to crack the code for success. I'm going to give you the code right now. Stay in the game. Like, don't quit. I know you've heard the don't quit before, but listen what I'm trying to tell you. Just stay at it long enough. Like, if you stay in the game long enough, you will figure it out. If you stay in the game long enough, you will figure it out. The odds will begin to become stacked in your favor. You will build relationships that will open up doors that nobody can close. Your skills will improve. You will begin to master your gift. You will discover what your one amazing thing is, and it will do extraordinary things for you, and you will make extraordinary impact. But you have to prove that you have staying power. Most people do not have staying power. Most people will literally count themselves short. Most people will throw in the towel prematurely. Most people will convince themselves why they should give up on the goal, convince themselves why they should give up on the dream, instead of finding a way to stay in the fight. I was at an event. I did an event, what was it, maybe 3 weeks ago, and there's a young lady who saw me in the hallway. She saw me speaking. She said, Andy, I just got to ask you a question. She says, what's your one advice for me as an entrepreneur? You left your corporate job back in December of 2004. Now it is what, 2018? It's been over 14 years in which you left your corporate job. What is the key? What would you say is the thing? And I said, listen, the key is staying in the game. The key is staying in the fight long enough so that you can figure it out. And the thing that I like to tell people, because this is the thing that they don't tell you, it feels like you're in a fight, and you are in a fight. You're fighting for your goals. You're fighting for your dreams. You're fighting to make this thing that you want to make happen a reality. Make no mistake about it. You are in a fight, and you're going to get knocked down. You're going to get punched in the face. You will get tired. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to want to jump out of the arena. You're going to want to curl up in the corner. You're going to be waving at your coach, if you even have one, and say, take me out the fight. I can't do this. You'll go on your knees in the corner and beg to be KO'd so that the fight will be over. But here's what they don't tell you. If you stay in the arena long enough, if you stay in the fight long enough, here's what they don't tell you. I got to let you in on the secret. I got to make sure nobody knows. Make sure to shut the door if you're in a room. This is the part they don't tell you. It's a secret. I got to tell you this. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Let me tell you something. Here's the part they don't tell you. The fight is fixed. They don't tell you that part. Listen, the fight is fixed. Put that in the comment section. The fight is fixed. The fight that you're in right now for your goals and your dreams, it's fixed. It's rigged for you to win. The only thing that you have to do to win is you just got to stay in the fight long enough. You got to take enough punches. You got to get hit down a couple of times long enough. You got to be willing to stay in there when you don't see how you're going to possibly win the fight. You got to stay in there when you're frustrated. You got to stay in there after you've heard 1,000 no's. You've got to stay in there after your funds have been depleted. You've got to stay in there after somebody betrayed you. You got to stay in there when your friends, your family members are no longer supporting you. You got to stay in there when your bank account is not where you want it to be. But let me tell you something, the fight is fixed. They don't tell you that part. They don't tell you that. Just imagine for a moment if they would have told you that in advance. Most, they don't tell you that. They just tell you it's going to be a fight. They tell you better have a dream. They tell you it's going to be hard. They tell you got to work on it. But nobody tells you that the fight is fixed. And I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now, straight up, the fight is fixed. It is fixed for you to win. And most people don't win because they don't stay in the fight long enough. I'm sitting here today and I'm typing up contracts and I'm going back and forth and I'm negotiating on things that was a dream, a vision. 15 years ago, it was a dream. And then about maybe I would say 14 years ago, I decided to step in the arena. And there's so many rounds in the fight that I could have thrown in the towel, so many times that I thought about throwing in the towel, but nobody told me, hey, Andy, if you stay in there long enough, let me tell you what's going to happen. Nobody showed me the crystal ball and showed me what was going to happen. I wish they would. Now, I don't know how things are going to work out for you. I don't know how the business is going to get to the next level. I don't know how you're going to become this amazing author. I don't know how you're going to become and have this amazing family and travel the world and do all the things that you want to do. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'll tell you this, it's fixed for it to happen. It is fixed for your dreams to become a reality. But you got to be willing to stay in the arena. You've got to be willing to prove that you have staying power. You've got to prove that you have staying power. And then something beautiful happens. Something very beautiful happens. This is what happens. Your season comes. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to explain this. Your season will come. Things will be so heavily stacked in your favor. Doors will open that you couldn't even envision. People will go out of their way to move mountains for you. The people who are part of your assignment, all of the people that you were intended to touch and impact and be connected to, they were simply all of a sudden now begin to show up. You couldn't even hide from a blessing if you wanted to. Like you could go and hide out and the blessing would still find you. Like you could be trying to avoid opportunities and the opportunities will be banging at your door and trying to find you. Like your season will come. Like the income that you think you're chasing right now, it'll get to a point where you couldn't even hide from it. Like it will find you. Like the money would chase you. It will come after you. The clients that you're struggling to try to get right now, you won't have to go chase them anymore. They will be knocking down the door. They'll be finding you. They'll be looking for you. Like the audiences that you're trying to get in front of, you won't have to go looking for those audiences anymore. Like they're going to find you. They're going to look for you. Your name is going to be mentioned. Doors will be open. You just don't understand. Your season will come. Your season will come. Your season will come. Your season will come. But you got to be willing to keep the course. You got to be willing to stay in the fight. You got to be willing. You got to be willing to prove that you have staying power. But once you've done those things, woo! Man, I can't even begin to tell you. And I'm telling you, some of you right now, you're in your season right now. You know just what I'm talking about. You're like, woo, Andy, I'm in my season right now. Some of you, I wish I could hold up a crystal ball. I wish I could just show you what the future looks like for you. I wish I could show you what your season is going to look like. I wish I could show you the amazing things that are going to happen if you could just simply stay in the arena and stay in the fight. And I started off telling you this, that this message was specifically for those of you, you're in the process of pursuing the goal, you're in the process of pursuing the dream. I know if you've been pursuing a dream, you're connected to somebody too that's pursuing a dream. Do me a favor right now. I can see all of you, and I'm going to give you a couple of shout outs too, but do me a favor, hit the share button, hit the share button, hit the share button. Well, y'all had me going emotional tonight, right? This was not supposed to be an emotional message. I was, you know, this is not supposed to be them kind of messages, right? But sometimes, you know, and I tried to hold it back, and y'all wrong for this. I might have to go back and be ashamed to watch this. Because I didn't expect tears to be flowing, but sometimes you just got to speak it from the heart. But it was dawning on me today, 15 years in the making. Long journey. And I'm still on the journey. Lot more to go. But I can see so clearly now. And I realize the season that I'm in. And what I realized today was that, Andy, there's somebody else who's in the middle of their fight. There's somebody else who's pursuing their goals and their dreams. And if they don't hear this message, man, they're going to throw in the towel prematurely. If they don't hear this message, they won't be able to experience the amazing season that's lying ahead of them. And I don't know if you're in your season right now, or if you're approaching your season. What I do know is that if you heard this message, it was time for you to hear the message. And so there was something in this message that was specifically for you. And so the best thing that you could do for this time that we spent together. The best thing you could do for me is to stay in the game. Hold on to the vision. Keep the course. Keep going. Because I can tell you right now, unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, that your season will come. Say it one more time. Your season will come. Oh my goodness. Yes, your season is coming. So listen, fam, I appreciate you guys tuning in and joining me. Do me a favor, if you didn't already do so, make sure you hit the share button. Let me give a shout out to some people. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Hey, Elkin, how you doing? Hey, Christine, how you doing? Hey, Dion, how you doing? Hey, Teresa. Hey, Kino, how you doing? Jose Flores, my man, how you doing? Hey, Shantina, how you doing? Hey, Frankie, how you doing? Hey, Latasha. Hey, Gregory Brown. Hey, Paula. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? Hey, listen, do me a favor. If you got some value from tonight's message, I want you in the comment section, put "this was for me." This was for me. Put that in the comment section so I can give you a shout out. If this message was for you tonight, put in the comment section, put "this was for me." This was for me. This was for me. Yes, Shantina, I see you, girl. Shantina said, this was for me. This was for me. Yeah, Kathy, I see you. Shantina said, this was for me. Kathy said, this was for me. I see you, Kathy. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. I see you, Charles. That's right. This was for me. Yes, my beautiful wife, Coach Cass, said this was for me. Margaret said, yes, this was for me. Listen, if this message was for you, put "this was for me." I'm telling you, I had to share this message with you because I need this message myself. Elkin said, this was for me. Yes, this message was for you. I see you. Yes, that's right. Cynthia said, this was for me. Dion said, this was for me. I see you. Maria said, this was for me. Paula said, this was for me. That's right. Gregory Brown, my man, I see you. Gregory said, this was for me. This was for me. If this message was, JCP said, this message was for me with a couple of extra E's at the back. I see you, JCP. Teresa said, this was for me. Yes, this was for me. This was for me. Listen, if this message, listen, I believe that as much as you've chosen to join me on this message, that you were chosen to be on this message. Charles, my man, this was for me. Charles says for me. Christine Rice said, this was for me. Oh my goodness. This was for me. This was for me. This was for me. I tell you, I fired up this laptop. I had a little bit of gist of what I was going to talk about. And I said, I'm just giving from the heart. And you know, when you speak from the heart, you touch the heart. And so I'm just so grateful that I was able to give you this message. And so the best thing you could do for me is stick in the game. The best thing you can do for me is just keep the course. The best thing that you can do is just continue to put in the work, because I can assure you of this, your season will come. Your season will come. Your season will come. Hey, Tia, how you doing? Hey, Rose Walker, how you doing? Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Hey, so listen, everybody, I thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for spending this time with me. Do me a favor, make sure you hit the share button. Because I know there's somebody you're connected to that needs to hear this message. So listen, family, I love you all. God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk soon.